What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to SK Wealth Academy podcast number 161. A simple question to determine if someone is an intellectual, a non-intellectual, or a straight up poser. How can there only be one simple question to determine such an answer to a complicated question? Well, here it is. The question you need to ask to be able to extract this conclusion is the following. Tell me of an instance in which you completely changed a firmly held belief and why. Now, you would be shocked at how many people answer there's nothing they can think of regarding something they believe to be 100% true and now understand that it is 100% false. Now, either the person you are speaking with is God, because only God is infallible, or that person is a straight up poser with zero critical thinking skills. Because I myself can think of even instances just this year in which I completely switched a belief 180 degrees after doing more research on my own. And in fact, you can even go to my YouTube channel, SK Wealth Academy, or if you're watching it here, look for a podcast titled, it was like early this year, maybe like February and March, that is titled, Westerners, I Recommend You Panic About the Virus. Because back then, even China had me fooled into thinking this virus was lethal. So China basically fooled the entire world regarding the danger of this virus. And I think it was a very clever psyop on their end to compel Western political leaders to shut down their economies. Either it was a psyop on that end, right? They just faked how dangerous it was, because no one really knows, right? If all those early videos released and supposedly leaked on like TikTok and what's their other is it WeChat, like videos where people said, oh, I'm gonna get in trouble for reporting this, but this is what's really going on in Wuhan. We don't even know if that was real or complete. My feeling is a lot of those videos were a complete psyop. And secondhand, only the very, very naive believe that in this this kind of dichotomy that is being spread by Western political leaders of China evil and the Western nations good. Meaning, okay, just listen to what I mean by this fake dichotomy. Meaning that there are certainly Western elements working very heavily in China that have been embedded for centuries. Just look at HSBC. HSBC is a British run and operated bank, and their headquarters is in London. It used to be in Hong Kong, but once Hong Kong was handed over from the British, who stole Hong Kong from China, back to the Chinese, they moved their headquarters back to London. So HSBC has always been a Western institution that's heavily infiltrated into China. So there are Western elements that have always been working together with China to forge certain narratives around the world, and they pretend that they're in opposition, a straight psyop. So maybe the Western elements were even involved in that Chinese psyop to fool the world because they wanted to lock down the whole world. So that's something that I completely flipped my mind based upon facts, not based on, that was a pure speculation when I made that podcast saying, Westerners, I recommend you panic about the virus. That was pure speculation based upon being fooled by, because I am based in Asia, about all this information coming out of China, because we get a lot more Asian-based news, obviously, on the Asian continent than in the West. So I thought I had better news, but I was just actually subjected to better psyop than in the Western media, consuming Eastern-based, Asian-based media about that. So that's something that but that's only just an example of one of dozens. So anyone that says something like, oh, I've never had a firmly held belief that's been flipped because I looked into something more deeply and then realized that my extremely strong stance and opinion about the subject matter was completely wrong is either pseudo-intellectual, because there are people actually even on YouTube with very popular channels in which people laud them as intellectuals, and when I look at their arguments from a logic and rationality standpoint, I can destroy them because they are quoting a lot of time sources in which people bow down to them. Oh, look how smart this person is, but their sources are of the most non-robust nature and non-scientific nature ever. And a lot of people believe these people are straight up intellectuals and are really pseudo-intellectuals, meaning they're posing as an intellectual when their intellect is really a very average to low capacity. And they're other straight up posers. Because if you can't think of anything that you ever been wrong on, that is just that's absurd. But when you ask this question, I guarantee a lot of times you're going to find out right away that a lot of people answer, well, there's nothing really that I really strongly believe in that somebody has been able to convince me that I've been wrong about in my entire life. So I don't even care if you're talking to someone like a teenager. Teenagers should have already had multiple experiences in believing something that they, firmly held as true, that they soon discovered was not true at all. But if you're somebody in your 30s or in your 40s, then that is completely absurd. That way, if somebody answers there's nothing, that when you speak to somebody about any topic that is a deeper, more complex topic, never to listen to this person, because they're not going to offer you any type of detailed analysis. They're probably just puppets that everything they believe is given to them by the mass media, and they don't question, don't challenge, don't know how to think for themselves, are much happier going with the flow, fitting in with the herd mentality, and never questioning anything which they are ordered to believe. So that wraps it up. Going to be very short and sweet. The next one I'm going to make is actually also going to be very short and sweet. So please do come back and return for podcast number 161. And that one is going to be titled Why the Law of Attraction Never Works for Most People. Because again, all the commentary about the law of attraction that you see online is the vast majority of it is not true. So I will tell you what the real secret behind the law of attraction is in podcast number 161. So thanks so much for watching. If you're listening to this on my Podbean, which the URL is skwealthacademy.podbean.com, please do subscribe. Please do rate the podcast, because that does help my podcast be found by other people. Also know if I disappear from YouTube that you'll most likely be able to find me on k.im. Again, that's k.im. So it's koala.indigo mason. So k.im, okay. And but that platform has actually not launched. It's still in demo stage, so when it launches, I'm going to move a lot of my content onto that platform. So thanks so much for watching. Also, you can subscribe to my free newsletter at malamalama, that's MAALAMALAMA, exactly how it sounds, .com/WordPress. So thanks so much for watching. Always remain intensely curious and remain immensely courageous. So long.